Hello, my name is Katie and welcome to my video. Today I am doing the try a chapter tag. I've kind of already filmed part of this. I did the actual reading of the books yesterday. And now I'm kind of doing a intro slash wrap up situation. I was tagged to do this by Rosie. I will link her channel in the description box and you can go check her out. I did film clips of me reading these books and I noticed the first one, the autofocus wasn't working for whatever reason. So that one's a little out of focus, but it has my dogs in it. So I think I'm gonna put it in anyway. So I suppose we should just get into the books. The first book I selected, it might be the nonfiction book I've had on my shelves the longest amount of time, maybe, and that is iWar, War and Peace in the Information Age by Bill Gertz. America is at war, but most Americans don't know it. In iWar, New York Times bestselling author, veteran Washington Times columnist, and security expert Bill Gertz offers a definitive look at how modern warfare is being fought not on the ground, but in digital space, and how America is falling behind. We are facing severe threats from China, Russia, Iran, and insurgent terrorist groups, but do not have the infrastructure or the right leadership to properly combat these powers. North Korea is getting better and better at hacking our systems. China is waging information warfare at the highest level. Iran is likely building nukes after a disastrous arm deal that they can easily flout. All the while, the Obama White House has been twiddling its thumbs, or worse, actively impeding our ability to take out the danger. This new type of warfare is part of the information age that has come to dominate our lives. In iWar, Bill Gertz describes how technology has completely revolutionized modern warfare, how the Obama administration failed to meet this challenge, and what we can and must do to catch up and triumph over this timely and important struggle. I don't really, there's not a whole lot of describing to do here with this book. It's kind of just what it says. Essentially, the book is Gertz discussing how war is going to become less and less of a physical thing and more of a cyber-based situation. Now, this book was published in 2017. And therefore, it's already kind of a little bit out of date, but that is sort of his point, that technology moves so fast that it's hard to keep up with and defend against cyber attacks. He seems to believe that America is totally unprepared for a war to be a cyber event rather than a physical one. And he and I will say this, he and I do not align politically from the chapter that I read at all, which technically was the introduction, but it was pretty long. We don't, there are a lot of things we disagree on from a political standpoint. However, when it comes to his discussions about how the country isn't really prepared for war to take place in a cyber realm, he's not totally wrong. Well, I definitely do want to come back to this at some point. I am just sick to death of politics right now. And I don't, even though this isn't totally centered on politics, there's enough in there that makes me not feel like I am mentally prepared to deal with it right now. So I'm gonna pick this up at some point, just not right now. The next book I picked up is a booktube favorite for sure, and that is Stiff, The Curious Lives of Human Cadavers by Mary Roach. Stiff is an oddly compelling, often hilarious exploration of the strange lives of our bodies post-mortem. For 2,000 years, cadavers, some willingly, some unwittingly, have been involved in science's boldest strides and weirdest undertakings. In this fascinating account, Mary Roach visits the good deeds of cadavers over the centuries and tells the engrossing story of our bodies when we are no longer with them. Oh man, so I just read the intro on this as well, because in nonfiction a lot of the times that's what you get is the introduction. I was immediately entertained by this book. You wouldn't think a book about death would be funny, but it is funny. But then you feel awkward about laughing because you're laughing about death. Oh god, I'm like feeling awkward just talking about it. But the hilarious aspect combined with the morbid topic very much both appeal to me. So I do think that this will be, I will continue this sooner rather than later. I can totally see the appeal with Mary Roach. Like, I'm not sure how many authors out there would even think to write a book about what happens to cadavers. Like, just the various ways they can be disposed of and how they can be used in science and things like that. Let alone an author who can take that subject matter and turn it into something so endlessly entertaining. So yes, while this isn't happening like right this second, it'll probably be happening as soon as I feel like picking up another nonfiction book. The next book I decided to try is Einstein's Unfinished Revolution, The Search for What Lies Beyond the Quantum by Smolin, a daring new vision of quantum theory from one of the leading minds of contemporary physics. Quantum physics is the golden child of modern science. It is the basis of our understanding of atoms, radiation, and so much else, from elementary particles and basic forces to the behavior of materials. But for a century, it has also been the problem child of science. It has been plagued by intense disagreements among its inventors, strange paradoxes, and implications that seem like the stuff of fantasy. Whether it's Schrodinger's cat, a creature that is simultaneously dead and alive, or a belief that the world does not exist independently of our observations of it, quantum theory challenges our fundamental assumptions about reality. In Einstein's Unfinished Revolution, theoretical physicist Smolin provocatively argues that the problems that have bedeviled quantum physics since its inceptions are unsolved and unsolvable for the simple reason that the theory is incomplete. There is more to quantum physics waiting to be discovered. Our task, if we are to have simple answers to our simple questions about the universe we live in, must be to go beyond quantum mechanics to a description of the world on an atomic scale that makes sense. This is good. Okay, this is good. As much as a book about quantum physics can be entertaining, this is entertaining. I will say, though, that right now my brain cannot handle any more science, physics, whatever. I'm taking a physics class, and I just did a physics exam yesterday, and my brain is just dead. I just can't right now. So while this will for sure be happening, it's not gonna happen right now. Probably when I'm like on a break from school. The next book I selected, I wasn't totally sure how this was gonna go. This is another one that's been sitting on my shelves for a very, very long time, and that is God, A Human History by Reza Aslan. The #1 New York Times best-selling author of Zealot explores humanity's quest to make sense of the divine and sounds a call to embrace a deeper understanding of God. With thoughtful, accessible scholarship, Reza Aslan narrates the history of religion as one long and remarkably cohesive attempt to know the divine by giving it human traits and emotions. According to Aslan, this innate desire to humanize God is hardwired in our brain, making it a central feature of nearly every religious tradition. As a result, we bestow upon God not just all that is good in human nature, our compassion, our thirst for justice, but all that is bad in it, our greed, our bigotry, our penchant for violence. More than just a history, this book is an attempt to get to the root of this humanizing impulse in order to develop a more universal spirituality. Whether you believe in one God, many gods, or no God at all, God, A Human History will challenge the way you think about the divine and its role in our everyday lives. I don't have much to say about this, to be totally honest. The information is interesting. It's an interesting topic. I really can't say why I don't feel like reading it right now, but I don't. Like, I don't intend to get rid of it at this point. I'm not in a hurry to read it. Now, it's possible that by this time next year, I will have done a total 180 with what I'm reading, and then I'll want to pick it up. But right now, it's just going to sit on my shelves for a while longer. The final book I grabbed is a book that has also been sitting on my shelves for a very, very long time. I know I said that, which one was it? Was it iWar that I said I think has been sitting on my bookshelf for the longest? This one comes close. It might even beat that one out. I really just can't remember. And that is Word by Word, The Secret Life of Dictionaries by Kory Stamper. Have you ever tried to define the word is? Do you have strong feelings about the word irregardless? Brimming with intelligence and personality, this vastly entertaining account of how dictionaries are made is a must-read for word mavens. Many of us take dictionaries for granted, and few may realize that the process of writing dictionaries is, in fact, as lively and dynamic as language itself. With sharp wit and irreverence, Kory Stamper cracks open the complex, obsessive world of lexicography, from the agonizing decisions about what to define and how to do it, to the knotty questions of usage in an ever-changing language. She explains why small words are the most difficult to define, how it can take 9 months to define a single word, and how our biases about language and pronunciation can have tremendous social influence. And along the way, she reveals little-known surprises, for example, the fact that OMG was first used in a letter to Winston Churchill in 1917. Word by Word brings to life the hallowed halls and highly idiosyncratic cubicles of Merriam-Webster, a startlingly rich world inhabited by quirky and erudite individuals who quietly shape the way we communicate. Certain to be a delight for all lovers of words, Stamper's debut will make you laugh as much as it makes you appreciate the wonderful complexities and eccentricities of the English language. I like words. I think if you're a big reader, you like words. I don't know if it was, I don't know what about this had me a little bit afraid to read it, but I just haven't picked it up, and I think I kind of forgot what it was about. But this immediately sucked me in. Oh my gosh, I'm actually like 4 chapters in now, because I didn't want to put it down. So that's that. I mainly immediately got interested in it because she was discussing when she went to college, she was initially trying to do something practical, like medical field or something of that nature, and then realized that like math and science, not her thing. So she was taking just like random electives, and she was taking one called, what was it? Medieval Icelandic Family Sagas. I really can't think of a class I want to take more than Medieval Icelandic Family Sagas. So I had to keep going. And this is really good. I've been enjoying this so very, very much. So I would say that the try a chapter tag has been successful because I picked a book that I didn't want to put down, and then I have another one that I believe I'm probably going to start immediately once I finish this one. So it worked out nicely. I'm happy that I did this. It was illuminating, and it got me to go through some of the books that had just been languishing on my shelves for a very long time. I should probably tag some people. I don't know who to tag. I feel like I keep tagging the same people over and over and over again for stuff. So I think like if this looks interesting to you, just do it and say I tagged you. Can we do that? That's what we're gonna do. So let me know in the comments below what you think about these books, if you've read any of them or would like to read any of them, or if you just want to say hi, that's cool too. If you like my content, subscribe, stick around. I'd love to see you in my comments. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon. Bye.